Factoring polynomial expressions. So if you have a trinomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, and a and b and c are just some integer, we're going to first check for when a equals 1. So we know that our a is 1. So when we do this, we're going to check for a common factor, and then we're going to use the following questions to solve our factors. So we want blank plus blank is equal to our b. So two numbers that add up to be the same integer as b. And blank times blank is equal to ac. So a times c. So if we take the polynomial expression x squared plus 10x plus 24, we want to find two numbers that when you add them together, you make 10. And when you multiply them, you get 1 times 24, which is 24. So if you look through your factors of 24, if you get 6 times 4, or plus 4 is 10, and 6 times 4 is 24. If you don't remember how to find your factors, just go 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Those are all our factors. So just start at 1 and keep going. And then you just cross out the ones that can't be. 1 plus 24 is 25. 2 plus 12 is 14. 3 plus 8 is 11. And 4 plus 6 is 10. So we know that this one works. So the last step is we're going to put it into two binomials. So we just go x plus 6 and x plus 4. And that's our factored trinomial. So if we check the equation x squared plus 7x plus 10, first thing, check to see if you have a common factor. 1, 7, and 10 don't have a common factor, so we're going to go straight to our two equations. Blank plus blank is going to be equal to 7, and blank times blank is equal to 10. We go through our multiples of 10, and the two that add up to be 7 are 2 and 5, so 2 plus 5 and 2 plus 5. So we just go x plus 2 and x plus 5. Now if you wanted to check to see if this works, you would use FOIL and multiply it out to see if it works. So we go x times x, which is x squared, x times 5 is 5x, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 5 is 10. And when you add your middle terms, you get x squared plus 7x plus 10. So we know that this works. So this one's a little bit different. We have two minus signs. So we have something plus something is equal to negative 7, and something times something is equal to negative 60. Now because this is negative 60, we know that one of our numbers is going to be positive, and one of these numbers is going to be negative, because a positive times a negative is a negative. So we're going to look through our factors of 60. We have 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, 5 times 12, and 6 times 10. So now we want to find two numbers that add up to negative 7. So we know that because the answer is negative, our biggest number is going to be negative. So if you go to negative 12 plus 5, you get 7. So 5 and negative 12, 5 and negative 12. And our last step is to put it into binomials. So x plus 5, x minus 12. X squared plus 9b minus 36. So we know because this is a negative, one's going to be positive, and one's going to be negative. And it's going to equal 9. Because 9 is positive, our bigger number is going to be positive. So we have a positive and a negative. So two numbers, when you times them together, you get 36. So if you have plus 12 and negative 3, you'll get 9. So x plus 12 and x minus 3. And then you're done. For the next one, we have x squared minus 14x plus 45. So blank plus blank is equal to negative 14, and blank times blank is equal to 45. Now because this is a positive, we know that both of them have to be negative in order to get a negative b. So two negatives make a positive, and if we look through our factors of 45, 9 plus 5 is 14, and 9 times 5 is 45. So we have x minus 9, x minus 5. So now this time we don't have an a that is 1, but our first step is to check for common factors. So all of them have a common factor of 2. So first thing we're going to do is take out a 2. So if we take out a 2 of this, we've got x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now our a is 1, so we can use our two questions. So blank plus blank equals 8, and blank times blank equals 15. 5 times 3 is 15, and 5 plus 3 is 8. So we have 2 times x plus 5 times x plus 3. So now we're going to do this when x does not equal 1. So our x is not 1, and there's no common factors. So when we set up our sentences, our equations this time, it's x blank plus blank equals 5, and blank times blank is equal to a times c. So 2 times 3, which is 6. So now we're looking for two numbers that add up to 5 and multiply to 6. 3 and 2. Now, we can't just go straight to two binomials. We have to do one extra step. So we're going to write 2x squared, and we're going to write our 5x as 2x and 3x. We're going to split it up into 2. And it's easiest to try to keep your common factors together. So because this one has a 2x here, I want to use the 2 beside it. Because this one's a 3, I want to use the 3 beside it. So 2x plus 3x plus 3. Now we're going to split it into two equations and divide by a common factor. So the common factor between 2x squared and 2x is 2x. So when you divide 2x out, you're left with x plus 1. The common factor for our second one is 3. So we're going to go plus 3, divide this out, we're left with x plus 1. If you find that the thing in your brackets, your binomial in your brackets, is the same for both, you did this right. So we want to factor out now an x plus 1. So if we factor out x plus 1 from both of these, this cancels and this cancels. So we're left with x plus 1 times 2x plus 3. And this is our factored trinomial. Okay, for the next one, 12x squared plus 22x plus 8. So if you look at it, you can see that they all have factors of 2. So it's much easier to divide a 2 out first. So we're going to be left with 6x squared plus 11x plus 4. So now we're going to factor, so blank plus blank equals 11, and blank times blank is equal to 4 times 6, which is our a and our c, which is equal to 24. So if you look through the factors of 24, 8 plus 3 and 8 times 3 make 11. So we want to write our 11x as 3x and 8x. And because this is a 6, and this is a 3, and this is a 4, and this is an 8, we want to put those beside common factors. So you have 2 times 6x squared plus 3x plus 8x plus 4. Now we're going to break it into two groups. Divide out your common factor. So we're left with 3x times 2x plus 1 plus 4 times 2x plus 1, and all of this is times by 2. And now we divide out our next common factor, which is 2x plus 1. And we're left with 2 times 2x plus 1, and then this cancels and this cancels, times 3x plus 4. And this is our factored trinomial. For our next example, we have 6x squared minus 11x minus 35. So we have blank plus blank equals negative 11, and blank times blank equals negative 35, times 6, which is equal to negative 210. So we want to find something that multiplies to get negative 210 and adds up to get negative 11. So we know that because this is a negative, one number is going to be negative and one number is going to be positive. So if you look at negative 21 times 10, this satisfies both equations. So we want to write this in the form so that common factors are beside each other. So we have 6x squared minus 21x plus 10x minus 35. Split it into two groups. And we take out a common factor, so 3x and 5, and we're left with 3x times 2x minus 7 plus 5 times 2x minus 7. Our common factors in the binomial are the same, so we have 2x minus 7 times 3x plus 5. And this is our factored trinomial. So for this one, we have blank plus blank equals negative 7, and blank times blank equals negative 10 times 6, which is negative 60. So we want two numbers. When you add them together, you get negative 7, and when you multiply them, you get negative 60. If you take negative 12 plus 5, you get 7, and negative 12 times 5, you get negative 60. So we're going to break this to 6x squared minus 12x plus 5x minus 10. Break it into two groups. Find your common factor. 6x and 5. So we have 6x, x minus 2, plus 5, x minus 2. Our binomials are the same, so we know we're doing it right. So we have x minus 2 times 6x plus 5. And that is our factored trinomial. A difference of squares means it's a binomial where each term is a square and it's a difference, so you're subtracting it. So all of these are subtractions, so you know that's one step. And the first and last term in each of these is a square, so we know we can factor using difference of squares. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the square root of both sides. So this is going to be 5, and this is going to be 6x. Then we write it as two polynomials, 5 plus 6x and 5 minus 6x. You just have to have one of each sign. For the next, we can break the square root, so we have 9m and 7 is the square root of each term. So we're going to go 9m plus 7, 9m minus 7. And the last one, the square root of x to the power of 4 is x to the power of 2, and 4y. So we're going to break this into x squared plus 4y and x squared minus 4y. So a perfect square trinomial is when your first and your last terms, so your a and your c, are perfect squares. So 4 is a perfect square. The square root of 4 is 2. And the square root of 49 is 7. And also, your middle term b has to be 2 times the square root of your a times the square root of your c. So 2 times 2 times 7. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 7 is 28. So we know that this is a perfect square trinomial. So all you have to do when you know it's a perfect square trinomial, if you have both positives, you just do the square root of your first term, so 2x, plus the square root of your last term, and it's going to be squared. And that's your factored trinomial. So for our last example, 25x squared minus 30x plus 9, we want to see if this is a perfect square. So the square root of 25 is 5, so that works. And it would be 5x. And the square root of 9 is 3. So they're both perfect squares. and 2 times 5. Now, because 30 is negative, either 5 or 3 has to be negative to make negative 30. So it could either be this, or it could either be this. But both of them work, because 2 times negative 5 times 3 is 30, and 2 times 5 times negative 3 is negative 30. They're both negative 30. So that means we have two answers when this is negative, and it's going to be 5x minus 3 squared, or negative 5x plus 3. So one of them has to be squared. So you have two possible answers for this one.